Hello. I hope you found yourself in a comfortable place. I'm sitting in my room on my bed and I have a candle lit. The scent is vanilla and it fills the room with a kind of warmness. Tonight, another season is definitely on my mind. I've been dreaming about corduroy jackets and ankle boots. I think we're always so anxious to reach new seasons in life. There's an apple tree outside my window. I'm on the third floor of a small building and the branches of the tree just touch my balcony. I picked one to try to identify it. I think they may be crab apples or wild apples. They're green and small and kind of on the bitter side. Sometimes I like to stand on my tippy toes and see if I can pick one before it falls onto the ground with a small thump, turns yellowish brown. I think the last time I had a really good apple, I was at the park, sitting under the shade of a tree. In the clearing of the park before me, there was a group of men playing soccer. Blue and yellow jerseys. I watched them and sat with my knees up. And my apple was massive. It was almost too big to fit in just the palm of my hand. And each bite I took of the apple didn't really seem to diminish the size. I'm trying to think of what I was wearing that day. It was either my black sundress with the tiny white seashells on it, or I was in my dark jean shorts with the black and white tank. I do remember that it was Saturday, and on Saturdays I try not to wear many clothes and try not to wear lots of things under my clothes. So there's a sense of freedom and you can catch whatever breeze there is that day, if there is a breeze. And I remember sitting there and looking out over the park, and it's something I've done many times, and I've often wondered what is it about looking over an open horizon of green that just puts your soul to ease a bit. Hearing the distant sound of people in the park, and at that time I was listening to these men play and call out to each other. It was a little too far to hear what they were saying. I also remember stretching my legs out, and they just looked like these long brown tree branches, like two branches of the same tree. Kind of reminded me of this tree across the park that splits early on, and there are two large trunks, and they're almost symmetrical. The ground was a bit damp. I think it had just rained a couple of days before. I'm trying to recall the smell of anything, like the smell of the ground, but all I remember is the smell of the apple, very fresh and very tart, but with a sweetness to it. I got the apple from the farmer's market the north end of the park. I used to bring my cat to that farmer's market sometimes. I hold him like people would hold small dogs so they wouldn't get trampled in a crowd. And most people would assume he was a dog because they would never think to look for a cat. And I'd say maybe 1 out of every 10 or 20 people would actually notice. And they would smile, and of course it would make me smile too. Every night before I go to bed, it's nice to think of something that puts a smile on my face. I hope you think of something tonight that puts a smile on your face. Last night I was thinking about cheesecake. I think about cheesecake often, but I was thinking about it because I read an article somewhere about a group of nuns in upstate New York who made thick and delicious cheesecake. And I thought, how lovely would that be? I could devote my life to making cheesecake, and I'd make very good cheesecake. I don't like it too soft. I like it a bit firm with a good solid graham cracker crust, topped with fresh strawberries, and maybe even a sugary strawberry glaze. I think my mind is definitely in summer again. Maybe I should stay here. I don't think there's any harm in thinking ahead, thinking about the future, being ready. But dwelling on the future or even the past is time wasted in the present. So this is summer, and the AC is running, and I'm cool and dry for now, relaxed and calm right now. Very relaxed. I don't know if you can hear, but there are church bells in the back. I've lived here so long, I don't pay attention to them anymore. And when I stop and listen and hear the church bells, I don't know what song that is. I wish I could pick an apple for you. I'd open the sliding door to my balcony and step out onto the cool tile with bare feet. I love that the apples are green. They're a much lighter green than the leaves they hang from. Green has become my favorite color in the past few years. Earlier this summer, I did a watercolor in the park. All I had were 2 shades of green in my watercolor palette. But with brown and yellow, I was able to mimic the rainbow of green in the leaves and in the grass. I didn't want to paint anything else, really. I don't think I even used the red, the purple, or the orange. I did a pale wash of blue to cover the sky. With watercolor, they say that the brush shouldn't be held like a pencil, but you should use it as an extension of your arm, or rather think of it as an extension of your arm. I'm extending my arm now, pretending that the tips of my fingers are brushes, dipped in paint. Not heavy oils or acrylics, just a light watercolor. I think it would be nice to paint your back in soft strokes. What color? I think a pale yellow with a tinge of orange and gold, like early sunlight. So across your back, I'd paint the sunrise, the brush dipping between your shoulder blades and rising again. The paint is cool and wet, the brush smooth and thoughtful. Beneath that, in the middle of your back, I want to paint rooftops, dark and boxy, a skyline to edge the sunrise. With my brush up and over and down, up, over, down, up, over, and down, in clear strokes, making the buildings, and maybe with a fine brush, creating 100 tiny little windows, still dark with slumber. One window belongs to a woman who works as a nurse, dreams of lighthouses even after her alarm has gone off. There's a window that belongs to a man who works during the night. He comes home quietly, listens to classical guitar in his headphones, careful not to disturb his sleeping children. There's a window who belongs to a woman who rises with the sun and greets it with a stretch. Maybe she's putting on some tea, English breakfast tea. My window's on the 3rd floor. There's a cat on my bed nuzzling me with a soft purr. He wants me to wake up, but I want to stay this way, deep in my dreams of cheesecake. This can be your window, near the right side of your back. What are you doing in this window? Are you still in bed? Or are you up, looking at how beautiful the sky looks at this time of day? I paint more windows on your back. Little boxes, and I cross them each. I think last, at the bottom of your back, we need to paint some trees, of course. From the bottom, up where the brush paints, growing tree trunks across the bottom of your back. I press the brush down into your back. All the bristles spread out so they can make wide strokes of brown. And we have to change colors to green. And with smudges, quick smudges, I tickle your back as I paint the leaves of these trees in dark green, a light green, medium green, topped with a bit of yellow. As the trees reflect the sunlight, shine with the sunlight. I paint the leaves of these trees on your back and read to you the leaves of grass. More experiences and sights, stranger than you think for. Times now mostly just after sunrise or before sunset. Sometimes in spring, oftener in autumn perfectly clear weather in plain sight. Camps far or near the crowded streets of cities and shop fronts. Account for it or not, credit or not, it is all true, and my mate there could tell you the like. We have often confided about it. People, scenes, animals, trees, colors, and lines, plain as can be, farms and dooryards of homes, paths bordered with box, lilacs in corners, weddings in churches, Thanksgiving dinners, returns of long-absent sons, glum funerals, the crape-veiled mothers and daughters, trials and courts, jury and judge, the accused in the box, contestants, battles, crowds, bridges, wharves, now and then marked faces of sorrow or joy. I could pick them out this moment if I saw them again, showed to me just to the right in the sky edge, or plainly there to the left on the hilltops. I wonder if Walt Whitman ever drew pictures of trees. My brush has no paint now, but it's still soft with water. I'd like to imagine you turning over so I can drag the brush across your chest, drawing nothing in particular. The brush strokes are long and go from your chest to your stomach, near your belly button, a drop of water gathering there. The water settles and coolness settles in those places. I lean down over you and whisper, whoever you are, now I place my hand upon you, that you be my poem, I whisper.